It's German. German Z German.
Herman Z. German?
Herman Z. German with Wipeout.
Is that Herman Rarebell?
Yes. And I got to hand it to Kendall Peters once again for 21 years old. She knew exactly what that was as soon as she heard it.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. Well, anyway, there's a reason why I played Wipeout.
Okay.
Because I have updated news on one of the most favorite stories of the CMS in the last year.
All right. I'm thinking I know who, but go ahead.
What do you think it is, Chris?
I'm thinking it's the Bay Boys.
The Bay Boys are back.
Awesome.
I have an update on the Bay Boys.
Okay.
Surfer gangs, Lunada Bay fort must go, the city staff says.
Oh!
A stone fort used by a group of fiercely territorial surfers in Palos Verdes estate should be dismantled and carted away.
Oh, my God.
According to a plan developed by the city staffers that will be considered by the city's elected leaders on Tuesday.
Oh, my goodness.
City manager Tony Delabroch is recommending the removal of the illegal structure after pressure from the California Coastal Commission and the arrival of the geotechnical report last week that confirmed that the removal will not cause erosion of the nearby bluff.
Oh, boy.
The report indicates that there would be no impact.
None.
There
might be from the dirt clods that are flying all
sure.
over. Protest.
The report, area surfers known as the Bay Boys constructed the oceanside palapa with stone and concrete decades ago and have maintained it from the generation to generation.
Wow.
The Coastal Commission recently targeted the unpermitted structure after renewed reports that the Bay Boys were using it as a private party spot and that drinking there fueled their ongoing bullying and intimidation of people who came to use the public beach.
Yeah, man!
Once again, alcohol-fueled brutality.
That's the way it should be, man!
Right. Witnesses have accused the Bay Boys of bombarding outsiders with dirt clods, slashing their tires and assaulting them in the water, sometimes coordinating the attack with walkie-talkies.
Oh, my goodness.
Police reports over the years show that the fort was repeatedly been the site of alleged drug and alcohol use.
Right.
Critics say that the Palos Verdes Estate Authority essentially mollycoddled the locals.
Well.
Mollycoddled.
Whatever that means.
That means they just sort of like, it's the Bay Boys. Even veteran wave riders are afraid of the Bay Boys. The editors of Surfer Magazine recently listed Lunada Bay on the list of the 5 surf zones that you should avoid no matter how good the waves are.
Okay.
Palos Verdes Estate issued a letter last month saying that the city would not meet a state deadline of July 6th to make plans for the fort, but the commission is waiting until Tuesday meeting before pursuing further enforcement action, the spokesman said. Coastal Commission Enforcement Officer Jordan Sanchez wrote in a report earlier this year about the Lunada Bay access problems that it was unlikely that he would be able to approve a permit for the fort because of its location on public land, but he said a smaller structure might be possible if the city took steps to improve the public access. The city, he said, should make a plan that clearly identifies through signage at a major street at the coastline and on the trail maps the structure as a public amenity and open to all.
Right.
Look what happens with inclusiveness.
Yeah, man.
It ruins everything.
Everything.
But Delabroch instead promised only a beach cleanup and said he hoped to develop a preliminary plan for the fort by September. 7 months after the Coastal Commission first raised the issue and 2 months past the state's deadline. So basically, this Delabruch, he was just like, I'm not really not looking to solve this problem here.
You think the Bay Boys are going to countersue?
I don't know. But
They could.
But there is more.
Okay.
The Bay Boys of Lunada Bay, America's most notorious surf gang,
only one as far as I know of,
are being wiped out.
Oh my God.
Lunada Bay is a near perfect half circle in the Pacific coastline of Palos Verdes Estates, an upper middle class enclave of Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. The land drops steeply to the water. The cliffs evocative, immediately evocative. I don't know. Of California at its most gorgeous and dramatic. The waves at Lunada Bay can reach 15 to 25 feet, making it one of the premier surfing spots on the entire West Coast.
Well,
these guys got a monopoly on it.
That's right, pal.
It is also, however, one of the most or the least accessible. The struggle over the coastal rights offers a view into the surfing's unseemingly, decidedly unchill side. In particular, the question of who gets to surf in Lunada Bay highlights the hostilities to the outsiders known as localism, which clashes with the notion that California's beaches are a public resource to be shared by all.
Yeah.
Goddamn people and their inclusiveness and their diversity.
Mm-hmm.
Stay off our beach.
Yeah, just let the Bay Boys have their spot.
Yeah, really.
Fuck, they've been there for years.
Yeah, apparently decades.
Decades. Which is why they won't have to tear that structure down.
Right. For nearly the past half-century, a group of local surfers known as the Bay Boys have jealously protected access to the waves on Lunada Bay with verbal abuse, threats, and vandalism, sometimes resorting to violence. Their goal has been unwavering: to keep outsiders from surfing there. The Bay Boys have been abetted in this task, some charged by Palos Verdes Estate Authority willing to tolerate their behavior. The Bay Boys' reign, though, may be coming to an end, with the California Coastal Commission telling Palos Verdes Estate in a letter sent last month to either dismantle the cliffside stone fort that the Bay Boys use as their base, or or bring the makeshift structure up to code while adding public access amenities that would make the beach easier to reach.
See, but the fact that it's been there for decades, they could easily walk into the fucking court and say, wait a minute, this has been here forever.
Right.
You know, what they could do is just say, hey, you guys have to update it, make the city update it, and then just not let people come in.
Well, again, the key point here is this whole inclusiveness thing where it says that they would make the beach easier to reach.
Right.
So apparently you have to, go through some pains to get down there on the beach.
Apparently.
It doesn't have like a road down there or an access trail or anything. And people are just sort of taking.
Come on, Nathan, can't you at least get my head where it belongs? Put my head on the shoulder, you dickhead.
Don't fuck with the Bay Boys. But apparently they're reacting to the complaints.
Yeah.
And so they're probably going to maybe cut a path or a road down into there and say, see, this is a public access now.
Right.
Before, if I'm reading this right, there wasn't really any public access to this.
Right.
Because I'm assuming that you have to go down some cliffs and stuff to get down to the beach area from the road or the access way above.
Right.
And so people have to like walk, through the rough to get there.
Jeez.
So now they're going to try to make an access way.
Sounds like a lot of work to go fucking surfing. Jesus.
Yeah.
Gotta really love the beach
to
deal with all this shit.
Yep. Earlier this week, Palos Verdes estate officials indicated that they would have the fort torn down despite opposition from some of the locals.
This might sound dumb.
It is. It's dumb. It's a lot of wasted resources and everything just to satisfy the complaints of some.
Couldn't people just like go a half mile either way?
Well, it's not as good.
There's plenty of a half mile?
It's not as good.
Enough.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
This reminds me of the Palestinians in Israel. The Palestinians have that entire desert landscape over there. Mm-hmm. Israel's got that little strip.
Right.
And they're still fighting over that.
Yeah, they want that strip back.
Yeah, they want that too.
Right.
The destruction of the fort will deprive the Bay Boys of a crucial stronghold. A crucial stronghold. They've used for some 30 years to keep the outsiders away.
They're preserving the beach.
I guess.
That's what they're doing.
According to the Los Angeles Times, witness accused the Bay Boy Surfers gang of congregating at the 3-decade-old structure and bombarding outsiders with dirt clods, slashing their tires, and assaulting them in the water.
Yeah, man! Stay off our fucking beach!
The fort is also believed to have been used by the Bay Boys for drinking and using drugs.
Horrible.
The Bay Boys are, as far as it's possible to tell, mostly middle-aged and white.
Well, racist.
Yeah. And both factors have likely worked in their favor. Worked in their favor.
Yeah.
A recent class action lawsuit, however, sought the use of the gang injunction to break the grip on the Lunada Bay.
The grip.
The grip.
These are awful. The descriptions here are awful.
This is a Newsweek.
This is a fucking bunch of surfer guys that get a little rough when people try to get on their beach.
Right.
It's not guys shooting people, for God's sake.
Sure.
It's not like a city under siege here.
Right.
It's fucking probably about 15 fucking old 50-year-old dudes?
Yeah.
Just fucking cutting some tires and telling people stay off our fucking beach?
Yeah. Get out of here.
It's the big fucking deal. Jesus.
Yeah. The Bay Boys are, as far as it's possible to tell, are mostly middle-aged. I read that. The Bay Boys are the nation's most notorious surf gang.
Yeah.
But other surfers have resorted to similar aggressions to keep away interlopers.
Interlopers.
In a list of the world's most fiercely protected local breaks, Grind TV included, along with the Lunada Bay, Hawaii's famous Bonsai Pipeline, and Mundaka in Spain, protected by a fierce pack of talented local Basque surfers.
How did I miss that in my issue of Grind magazine or whatever?
Grind TV.
When I was watching Grind TV, rather. How did I miss that? Grind TV? What the fuck is that?
I don't know. Such localism has perhaps arisen because as surfers' popularity grows, veteran surfers see younger practitioners as interlopers who have no business intruding on their beloved break. Nobody likes strangers in his garden. Moreover, while it's easy enough to create rules around sharing a tennis court, the same is much harder to do in the open, where clear boundaries do not exist and the sought-after resources, that is a surfable wave, is impossible to predict and fairly allocated.
Well, nobody's stopping them once they're in the water, are they?
Well, yeah, they said that they had coordinated attacks even in the water.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Good on them.
Yeah. When too many random paddle out, things get tense, Lewis Samuels wrote in a 2013 defense on localism in Surfer magazine. Otherwise, it's a gentlemanly little area. Comrades enjoy producing working sessions, splitting limited resources, not equally, but at least in a consistent manner. When locals burn each other and collide, it's on purpose, and it's all good fun. The system has its merits.
Yeah, pal.
Yeah. Perhaps the most remarkable thing about the Bay Boys is how long they've operated with impunity, convinced that the beach at Lunada Bay was their birthright, one they could defend as they saw fit. It was inevitable, though. The public outrage would drive them off the beach, as one of the lawyers who brought the suit against the Bay Boys told the New York Times. In California, the ocean belongs to the public, not to a bunch of trust fund babies.
Yeah, man! Get off our beach!
It always boils down to that class envy, you know what I mean?
Those are everybody's waves, man!
Yeah.
You can't hog our waves, you Bay Boys.
Sure.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Dumbest story ever that just keeps on going.
I love it, though.
Just keeps going. It's never going to end. Boys.
The Bay Boys. This next article comes out of the Daily Breeze.
The Daily Breeze.
The Daily Breeze.
Is that the newspaper of Grind TV?
It is under the heading of recreational surfing.
Oh, good.
It falls under the headline of Lunada Bay, a prime place to avoid, Surfer magazine says.
Oh, well.
Surfers of the world, beware of sharks in the water and unexploded landmines and the Bay Boys. That's what it says.
You got to be kidding me.
These are the most dangerous bastards you've ever encountered.
Wow.
It doesn't say that.
I'm going to say, my God, they get tough here at Surfer Magazine.
We're going to kick your fucking ass right off our beach.
Yeah, pal.
Yeah. I love the terror that these guys strike in the hearts of the interlopers.
For God's sakes, we just had, how many people got killed in Turkey the other day?
Hundreds.
500 or 300 or
yeah.
so? And then we had how many that got killed?
84 in France.
In France?
And 50-something down in Miami.
But we're worried about this fucking surf gang?
Yes, the Bay Boys.
That has, as far as I'm telling here in these 30 years, has yet to kill one?
Yes.
Worst they've done is throw some fucking dirt at people?
And say, stay off our beach.
Kooks.
Fuckies.
Kooks.
Kooks.
Called them kooks.
I see Wes from Louisiana who got fucked by Def Leppard.
Yeah.
He often signs his emails off with kooks.
Alan Kook, I saw that.
Kooks. So I love the opening line.
It is funny.
Surfers of the world, beware of sharks in the water, unexploded landmines, and the Bay Boys.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Bum, bum.
This week, Surfer Magazine hit the newsstands with its July edition that lists 5 surf zones around the world to avoid no matter how good the waves are.
Yeah.
Mauritania, West Africa, because of the unexploded landmines and terrorists who vowed to attack Westerners.
Yeah.
Snapper Rocks in Australia because of the enormous crowds.
Right.
Farallon Island, California, because of the shark attacks.
Mm-hmm.
São Conrado, Brazil, because of sewage in the water.
Ugh.
And Lunada Bay because of the Bay Boys.
How far is that from where Sheldon lives? Do you know?
Where's that? Lunada Bay?
Yeah.
That's just in South Bay. That's just south of L.A.
So legitimately, because he surfs.
Yeah.
Legitimately, he might have some insight on this.
He could.
I'm going to reach out to Sean Sheldon this week and see if we can't get him on to talk about the Bay Boys.
The Bay Boys.
Because I know he surfs.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if you know this, but did you know he started to do music again?
Yes, I did. I saw him perform with he was up.
Back, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure he wouldn't mind coming back on.
Sure.
I'd love to have him just for the theme song alone. He's always welcome.
Of course.
Sheldon's, and him and I had a long talk. 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago or something?
Hmm.
You know, and he's got a lot to say.
I'm sure he does.
6 years off. I'll give you just a little piece that'll probably bring everything into perspective.
Mm-hmm.
He's single again.
Yeah, well, I would imagine. I mean, come on, dude. I met the chick that he banged out a kid with.
Yeah.
I mean, nice enough girl.
Mm-hmm.
But come on. You can't just hook up with some chick and bang out a kid and just like live happily ever after and give up everything you love.
Yeah.
You just can't do that.
Well, you know,
it's either in your blood or it's not.
You know, he was finding his chi.
Please.
He's reading the key. What was that called? The key?
Yeah.
For guidance?
Sure.
He went as far off the deep end as possible.
I took him and his chick out to dinner one night.
Right.
At the time, she was his quote-unquote manager.
Okay, yeah, his manager.
But I had no idea that, you know, he was going to hook up with her, like,
right, sure.
You know, have a baby with her and stuff. But still, it's like, dude, what are you thinking?
Right.
I mean, you know, this goes a gig back, and I don't want to veer off the Bay Boys here too much, right. But again, it's just this hooking up with some chick,
right,
and then banging out a kid. It's just like, dude, where are rubber? Jesus Christ,
that's crazy talk.
You know,
rubbers.
Then you're miserable, and then you can't get away from him, and then you're just like connected to him forever, and you share a kid. That's ugh. Ugh.
Well, in any event, I'll reach out to him this week to see if he knows anything about the Bay Boys.
Sure, let's find out.
We need to get somebody that has some knowledge of this.
Yeah, I mean, and he's down on the local scene, so he would know.
It can't be this terrifying down on the fucking beach. You can read me 1,000 of these stories, and I'm not going to believe that there's terror on the fucking beach.
But I love the description, though. I love the description.
Well, they make it sound like World War III is going off.
Well, they make it sound like these guys are guarding the rocks with AK-47s, you know?
I know. Meanwhile, they're throwing fucking dirt.
And yelling kook.
Yeah, and yelling kook. I can see why that's the equivalent of a fucking terrorist.
Well, with our pussy generation these days, it's hurtful.
Why do I think that it's probably some fucking college dick that made the big stink about this?
Sure.
I want to surf down there, and they won't let me. Hurting my feelings.
Yeah.
Fags.
All right. You'll have to duck rocks chucked by the Bay Boys, the guardians of the Lunada Bay surf.
Yeah.
And your car windows will get waxed.
Uh-oh.
They'll get waxed.
They'll put wax on your windows.
Oh, no. And your tires might get slashed.
Oh, no.
You'll endure chest-thumping and lip-quivering threats shouted from the beach shack the Beach Boys inhabit near the shore. None of that is fun. They shouted at me, and then they chucked a chunk of dirt at me, and then when I went to get back in my car, my windows were waxed, and I was so upset.
I could just hear that fucking B-52 song playing with them fucking throwing dirt clods. The Bay Boys, baby!
And then they yelled kook at me, and they said, don't come back here again. And it was really traumatizing, and I was so upset. I didn't know what to do. The swell at Lunada Bay is calm these days. but expected to pick up when the winter waves begin in the fall. Mm-hmm. Although no surfers were riding any of the smaller waves on the bay on Thursday, Dave Lavelle of Huntington Beach had driven a friend to Lunada Bay to show him the scenery or the scenic cove, an illegal patio structure built by the Bay Boys at the shoreline. The illegal patio structure.
Legal patio structure.
Illegal. Lavelle wasn't surprised that the Surfer magazine listed Lunada Bay as a place to avoid because Lavelle himself has surfed all over Southern California for 45 years, but never Lunada Bay.
Not once.
Not once. Since Lavelle was 12 years old, he's been aware of Lunada Bay's unfriendly reputation, and over the years, he's known surfers who have been hassled by the Bay Boys. It's not worth it, Lavelle said. Every surf spot is so crowded in this day and age, they have to do what they have to do. This is their spot.
Yeah, pal.
Yeah. Lavelle said he periodically drives to the bay and walks along the bluff tops as he did on Thursday, often glancing back over his shoulder to make sure no one is vandalizing his pickup. I want to surf there so bad, Lavelle said, but I know it's not worth it.
What a fag. This guy is a faggot.
I just stood there and I longingly looked at the bay and said, it would be heaven if I could just surf there once.
And you know this guy's probably dating the fat chick because he looks at the hot girl that's with the other guy. He's like, I could never get her, man. Just like I could never surf that beach.
Yeah, they won't ever let me down there.
Yeah,
but
call me a kook.
But I'll stand here and look at it from afar and just hope and wish someday that my dream will come true.
I'm going to look at those waves and a lone tear is going to run down my cheek. Horrible. What a queer. This guy should be hit with a lot more than a dirt clod. What a fag.
California has it's like 800 miles of coastal surf line.
Yeah, but they can't surf this fucking what?
It's
400 feet?
Yeah, it's probably like only a quarter mile wide.
Yeah. And this is the most important spot on the 800 miles.
Yeah, but the thing is isn't what you want the most is what you can have. Isn't that what it really boils down to?
I guess, but you could literally pull your car 1 minute in either direction and you're in the same fucking waves.
I understand, but the thing is that it's that coveted thing. It's just like, how come I'm not allowed in there?
Why don't you just leave these fucking guys alone? and they weren't bothering anybody for how long?
For 40 years.
It was not a big deal. No one gave a fuck for 40 years. Why is it a big deal now?
Well, because
everything's a big deal.
Yeah, everything's a big deal now. But the thing is we're in that day and age where it's just like, why are you allowed to have that and nobody else can?
Right.
But
just terrible.
It is. It's horrible. I would love to interview one of these guys, or as you said, maybe get a Sean Sheldon on the phone. Maybe he could shed some light on it.
Yeah, we got to know more.
But it's so, I love this story though. It's because of the big deal and the numerous articles that's been written about it.
I mean, but they make it sound like it's a big deal. But then when you read the articles, it's just not.
No.
There's nothing that you've read yet that even sounds.
Nobody got killed.
This is less violence than you would see in a normal day at Walmart.
Nobody got hospitalized.
Oh, they rubbed wax on a window. They threw some dirt.
And they called a name.
The worst thing that you've said they've done is cut a tire.
Yeah, they slashed a tire.
I mean, fucking A, dude. That is hardly, especially in today's world, that's hardly worrisome.
Not fair.
Fucking bitch.
Why can they serve there and I can't?
Bitches.
It's not right.
Just bitches.
I voted Democrat because we were supposed to have everything.
Well, everybody voted Democrat down there, didn't they?
I think.
Isn't that what Cali is?
Pretty much.
Yeah.